Hey everyone, welcome back to Dinar Stories. I'm genuinely glad you're here today. Before we get into anything else, I want to start where I always start, grounded, clear, and honest. This is not a prediction video. This is not financial advice. And this is not one of those "it's happening tomorrow" uploads. If you've been holding Dinar for years, I know what that feels like. Some of you are exhausted. Some of you are still hopeful, but more cautious than you used to be. And some of you are simply trying to filter out truth from noise because the noise has become overwhelming. There are channels right now promising overnight numbers. There are posts circulating claiming secret sources. There are timelines that reset every few months. That's not what we do here. What we do here is step back, analyze structure, and separate emotion from infrastructure. And something important happened this week. Not dramatic, not explosive, but structural. And structural shifts are what matter. So today we're going to walk through what actually shifted, what did not shift, what is preparation, what would actually qualify as a trigger, and where this realistically leaves us. Stay with me, because once you see the full architecture, the speculation starts to dissolve. Political influence, why IT still MATOS. Let's begin with geopolitics. Recent media interactions included comments from Donald Trump regarding Iraq's leadership formation. He indicated that the United States still has options and influence when it comes to Iraq as prime ministerial direction. Now, let's slow this down. This isn't about personalities. It's about influence. Historically, U.S.-Iraq relations have played a decisive role during government transitions. When Iraq moves toward selecting or confirming leadership, global power dynamics are not absent. They're present. Why does that matter for currency holders? Because currency stability is deeply tied to political alignment and international partnerships. No country stabilizes its currency in isolation, especially not one rebuilding economic credibility. If the United States maintains strategic influence, that suggests Iraq is not moving into geopolitical isolation. Iraq remains integrated in global economic frameworks. Policy alignment with Western financial systems remains possible. That does not mean rate change tomorrow. But it does mean Iraq remains within a predictable global lane rather than drifting into volatility. Political influence doesn't create revaluation. Political stability creates the environment where monetary reform becomes possible. And right now, influence is still present. The digital customs shift, the real structural or why now. Let's move to what I consider one of the most important structural developments. Iraq has been implementing the ASI-QDA system, a globally recognized automated customs data platform. This is not a rumor. This is not speculation. This is administrative modernization. What does the system do? It digitizes imports, customs documentation, trade declarations, border processing, real-time transaction tracking for years. Iraq struggled with corruption at border points, fake import invoices, inflated documentation, bribes, smuggling, parallel dollar extraction through fraudulent trade claims. That kind of leakage destroys monetary reform. When dollars leave the official channel and enter the black market, you lose currency control. Now with a fully digital customs structure. Transactions must match digital records, imports must be verifiable. Access becomes traceable. Revenue capture improves. Let me simplify that. Digital enforcement equals transparency equals control equals monetary credibility. This is not flashy. This is foundational. You cannot reform a currency while corruption controls your borders. And this system is specifically designed to shut down those leakages. That matters. The parallel market CR now, let's connect that to something bigger. For years, Iraq operated with two realities. 1. The official exchange system. 2. The parallel market, black market. Under the old structure, certain merchants could claim they were importing goods, receive US dollars from auctions, and then redirect those dollars into the parallel market. That drained reserves. That widened the gap between official and street rates. That undermined trust. With customs digitized and enforcement tightening, fraudulent access to dollars becomes much harder. And reports suggest that some exchange houses are either closing or being restricted because they cannot operate under the new compliance rules. That's not chaos. That's consolidation. You cannot unify exchange rates while a shadow market dominates. Shrinking the parallel market is not dramatic, but it is necessary. Again, this is preparation, not announcement. The Development Road Project long game Isiono now. Let's talk about infrastructure. Iraq's Development Road Project aims to position the country as a major trade corridor connecting Asia to Europe. We're talking logistics hubs, rail networks, port integration, regional trade expansion if executed properly. This could dramatically increase non-oil revenue streams. But here's where we stay realistic. Revenue growth does not equal overnight revaluation. Infrastructure projects create economic momentum over time, not instant currency adjustments. Monetary policy reacts to sustained economic fundamentals, not construction announcements. This project is strategic. It is long-term positioning. It is revenue-oriented. But it is not a trigger by itself. Government formation, the real Biotalinisi, everything continues to circle back to one thing, government formation. Until Iraq formally seats its president and confirms its prime minister, major policy shifts remain limited. But final policy execution requires a fully seated government. This has always been the bottleneck. Banking connectivity, infrastructure vs. LAUNC. There are also reports that Iraqi banks are now connected to international correspondent banking networks. Let's clarify something important. Technical readiness is not the same as public rate activation. Connectivity means banks can send and receive international transfers. Compliance frameworks are in place, messaging systems are integrated, regulatory alignment is improving, but infrastructure ready does not mean launch ready. However, and this is key, you cannot launch without infrastructure. Preparation vs. imminence. This is where we ground ourselves. What we are seeing right now is alignment in structure. Political influence present, customs digitized, parallel market shrinking, infrastructure expanding. Banking systems connected, that is preparation. And confusion happens when people mistake structural progress for immediate activation. It leaves you exactly where disciplined investors operate. Patient, observant, not chasing rumors, not resetting timelines every month. The people who burn out in this space are the ones chasing fantasy dates. Final SUMAR, why here's the clear picture. U.S. strategic influence remains present. Digital customs enforcement is tightening control. Parallel market pressure is increasing. Infrastructure projects position long-term growth. Banking connectivity is expanding. Government formation remains the next key milestone. Nothing here screams tomorrow, and preparation is necessary before policy. But the fact that you're still here, learning, analyzing, filtering, says something about your discipline. Stay grounded. Watch official developments. Ignore emotional speculation. Understand structure. This is Dinar Stories.